FNAF 4 remains one of the most confusing points for FNAF theorists. Scott has even gone on the record to say that nobody has quite figured it out. But one of the questions I see debated the most is if FNAF 4 is really a dream or if it's real. Especially since Dawko commented on a Reddit post from Scott saying that he doesn't know why people still think that FNAF 4 is a dream. So since I feel personally attacked now, despite this comment being posted prior to this channel becoming FNAF themed, I still think we'll settle this debate once and for all. Maybe. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Monroe, this is my FNAF theory. Is FNAF 4 really a dream? Let's do it. The main reason behind Dawko saying this is seemingly because of the sister location Easter egg, the one where the security code of 1983 gives you the security camera footage of a closet, hallway, and bed from the FNAF 4 house. This to Dawko among others is proof that the FNAF 4 house is an actual location rather than a construct of the mind. But I have a point that does indeed counter the whole the cameras are real idea. Since Scott was just using this as a way to confirm the year that FNAF 4 takes place in, we can easily write it off as just a figment of our imagination or even just an Easter egg that has nothing to do with the actual story. On the contrary, the layout of what looks to be the FNAF 4 house is on the camera mini-map while we're in sister location as well, meaning that the cameras actually have somewhere to point to. So, which is it? Is FNAF a nightmare or is it real? And things are more complicated than that, unfortunately. We know for a fact that at the very least the FNAF 4 minigames are real. The cutscenes we see play out between nights in an 8-bit style. However, the main gameplay is tricky, since while yes, this could be a real location, it's not the crying child's house. We can see from the 8-bit minigames that the layout for the house with the animatronics is different from the one that we see in the 8-bit minigame. There is no hallway with 4 doors, crying child's room doesn't have a door on either side, and he doesn't have a closet at the foot of his bed. So if the house's layouts don't match, how could the events we see in game be happening in real life? No room in the house matches the layout from what we see. Even if William had cameras in the area like that again, it could just be an Easter egg to explain the fact that FNAF 4 takes place in 1983, since that was a huge debate. Scott also says that there is a discrepancy in sister location that he has yet to clear up, or at least had yet to clear up at the time of him posting that Reddit thread. So the discrepancy could be that the cameras were actually just an Easter egg rather than, real cameras. More interestingly, the actual layout of the FNAF 4 room is more similar to the layout of an emergency room than a bedroom. See, bedrooms are typically laid out with one door as a safety measure, since you're unconscious in a bedroom. However, hospital rooms are more likely to be laid out with a door on either side to allow for easier access in case of emergency, especially in critical care. If nobody is on one side, it is more likely that someone is on the other side and can get to you in case of an emergency, and luckily that side has a door. Along with the long halls and the representations of death coming after you, FNAF 4 seems to be a perfect allegory for a hospital room, especially with the Easter eggs of IVs, pills, and flowers. But you can have all those at home, I can hear you yelling at me in the comments. Yes, but if a child is actually injured so bad that he needs blood IVs, then I don't think the hospital is gonna let him go home anytime soon, especially when he's still in a coma. There is also the point of the flatline that we hear at the end of the game. Like, there wouldn't really be a heart monitor at home. It's a child. And especially if it's a child, like even if the family is absolutely rolling in that cash money, I don't think the hospital would let him go home. I don't think that's a thing. Then there's the idea of the illusion discs from the Twisted Ones novel that can also explain the nightmare animatronics. However, even if that is the case, it doesn't explain the change in location or design between houses. That would still be explained by the theory that FNAF 4 is simply a dream. It also ties itself together with Ultimate Custom Night that way since William is also in a coma, which only adds to the idea that Crying Child is the one that you should not have killed, but that's not what this video is about. As well as the nightmare animatronic lines from Ultimate Custom Night. These could also be interpreted both ways, to be fair. Like, this time there is more than an allusion to fear could mean that they were merely figments of Crying Child's imagination and now they're real, or that they were an actual illusion. And I am given flesh to be your tormentor could actually mean that now he's a real animatronic instead of an illusion attached to a fun time, or it could mean that he is given a body by the one you should not have killed since last time he had no form because he was a dream. There also seems to be more lines trending towards dream than actual physical beings, since the illusion disc would need something to change the appearance of, meaning that they could actually hurt the player, but they just didn't. There we have it, friends. Is FNAF 4 really a dream? I'd say yes, since there just seems to be more evidence trending in that direction, and it fits more narratively speaking. The house layouts are different, which can really only be explained by a dream. There are multiple indications that we're in a hospital, and while sister location shows us Easter eggs of the FNAF 4 house, those are merely Easter eggs to reveal the true date of the game. What do you think? Are you Team Dream or Team Real? And by Team Dream, I mean like Team Dream Theory for FNAF 4, not like the Minecraft YouTuber. Either way, let me know in the comments below. Speaking of comments, I'm going to respond to some from previous videos. Hyper Hydro said, TBH, I still think Security Breach takes place in 2040. With all the technology and robots and the existence of Glitch Trap, I think it's safe to say it's in the future. At least I think that's what you're referencing. You could just be yelling at me because I suggested that it wasn't in the future. But I'm happy to be proven wrong. But the evidence at this point seems to be indicating that it somehow takes place before FNAF 3. And with Into the Pit acknowledging that time travel is a thing in this universe, it's only a matter of time before we see it in the games. Plus, there is a ball pit in the Pizzaplex. And there wasn't really much else that related Into the Pit, the first story of Fazbear Frights, to the games. So the ball pit has to be significant in some way. And you can't really use technology as a point as to why these games take place in the future, because the FNAF universe has always had advanced technology from the get-go. Like, what pizza place nowadays has roaming animatronics, let alone in 1987? Ash said, what if Glamrock Freddy is Henry's spirit? I think that this is actually a good point and that's something to look into, but if Henry knew so much about possession that he knew to burn the animatronics in order to destroy them and to destroy the remnant, I think that he would make sure that he wasn't in agony when he died, because I feel like at that point he would have to know that. I think this also relates to FNAF World, since we see the desk man, who we originally assumed was Henry, get killed by Circus Baby in one of the FNAF World endings. However, this is my idea. What if this is what happened and he was sitting at a desk in the simulated pizzeria? He was surprised to see Scrap Baby, but he knew that she would kill him quickly, making sure that he isn't in agony in the fire, because honestly, burning to death sounds like it would be a pretty agonizing experience, and if that happened to me, I would definitely possess something. Just saying. ND Sinkai said, I would agree with a good amount of this, but Vanny is in Security Breach, which we know can't possibly take place in the 80s because her mask was created in Help Wanted. This wasn't your whole comment, but I still wanted to address it, and it's too big to fit on the screen. Don't hit enter when you're typing if you want it to be featured in videos. Anyway, while yes, we do see the Vanny mask first in FNAF VR, that game is meant to look back on the past tragedies that occurred in the Fazbear Entertainment history. So it could be just referencing Vanny, who killed before 2023. Plus, it's a VR game, and like in the actual like story of the game, you're also playing a VR game, so it's not like anything we see in the game is actually happening in the real world. Like, that mask we see is totally digital, plus we just see the mask, so you're using the term created very loosely. And besides, if they are going to make Security Breach happen in 2021, they have to establish time travel, so that just throws every logical conclusion out the window, since Vanny could just as easily have time traveled from 2027 or 2040 back to 2021. Joey said, where is the new Freddy and Friends? Episode 3 is out, so you can go watch it on the Stillwell Studios YouTube channel. However, that last video we made about it didn't do so hot, so I'm just gonna do a little quick recap here because there's not really much else to say. This episode though, episode 3, is way more glitchy than the last ones, and I'm guessing that it's because this time it focuses on Bonnie, who isn't going to be in Security Breach, so they're having a harder time processing. There was also the reveal of a new extremely tall animatronic who just seems to be walking on only hands at the end of the episode, along with glitches featuring Roxy and Glamrock Chica. My theory that Bonnie would get Foxy to join the team was wrong, but he was chill about it like I expected. He didn't like freak out and run away. They just all ran together for some reason. And currently we have 3 out of 6 numbers for the release date, which is 1 blank, 1 blank, 2 blank, which is horrible because basically we know that it's coming out in 2021. The only months left in the year have 1s in front of them. My guess though is that the next number is going to be the one after the 2, so that we'll know it's in 2021, but I still feel like it's going to be December 17th, so either 12/17/21 or 17/12/21, depending on how they want to format it, if they want to be right or wrong. But with probably 3 episodes left now, we have about 6 weeks to wait until we get the full release date, since they release episodes bi-weekly. That's all the time we have for comments today. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.